My role model isn't a single person. Instead, it is the group of lesbians who, during the AIDS epidemic, selflessly cared for a lot of the gay men who had the disease. They were nurses. They visited patients when other people weren't willing to visit patients. They donated blood. They ran fundraisers. And I just think that sort of selflessness should be acknowledged.
Mr. RuPaul Charles is an iconic drag performer, singer, and television host who you may know best for hosting RuPaul's Drag Race. It's brought drag culture into the mainstream and provided a platform for many LGBTQIA+ artists. And he's been a trailblazer in challenging stereotypes and promoting self-expression and acceptance.
I feel that one of the best role models for the LGBT community was Walt Whitman, because his poetry was just amazing, and in those times and in that era, it was very unusual for a person to be as out but kind of not out in a way. It was more comforting for people who were still having to deal with the struggles and stuff, and reading his poetry and knowing what it kind of meant in indie window type.
So I would have to say Marsha P. Johnson. She was a catalyst for change, also a beacon of hope for many people. As a transgender woman of color, she fearlessly fought for the rights and visibility of the LGBTQIA+ community during a time of immense adversity. Marsha's pivotal role in the Stonewall Uprising of 1969 sparked a movement that continues to inspire activism today. Her tireless advocacy and founding of organizations like STAR have paved the way for transgender rights and ignited conversations, especially about intersectionality, within the movement. Marsha's legacy reminds me of the power of resilience, bravery, and the ongoing fight for equality.
The persons I look up to in the community the most are the ones who provide the psychological safety for allies like me to explore and address my blind spots.
One of my role models in the LGBTQIA community is Fox Fisher. They are a children's book author and illustrator. They've had their work read by millions of people worldwide, and they're telling stories about trans and non-binary people coming to terms with their identities and living their lives. And in doing so, they're creating this really important foundation for trans and non-binary children to see themselves, and for their allies and their families to become educated to better support them as they grow into the people they'll be.